POH. Player-owned house. A lot of other games have houses. Skyrim, you can buy a house or two to store all the shit you stole. Minecraft, you can make your own dream house, slap a bed in there, why not? Stardew Valley, take a little nap, feel better again. Sims, make it look all nice and pretty before you download 17 sex mods. All of these games have beds, by the way. RuneScape, you can have a bed too. You can have 3, 4 beds if you want, but you're not sleeping in that shit. RuneScape characters go their entire existence without sleeping. Fuck sleep. If I want to regain health or something, I'll sip a pool of scissor and go along with my day. Look, RuneScape houses function for one reason and one reason only. Experience, baby. Good old-fashioned efficiency. They are the core of the modern player's grind. Players will put hundreds of hours into making money, just straight up giving themselves arthritis to turn their outhouse into a Beverly Hills dream mansion. I'm talking unlimited teleports, gilded altar, a pool of that purple drink, that good shit, everything to get all the experience your antisocial ass could ever want. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not always how it was. No. That's the evolved player-owned house. It took almost 14 years to get to that point. That was not what player-owned houses started as. So let me take you all back, because I've been doing some reading. And by that, I mean letting a cool British guy do the reading for me on Audible, which happens to be today's sponsor. Yeah, I know, that was a great segue. I'm really good at this. You see these things? No. If you're like me, you like a good story. You also have things to do. Audible is the top dog of the spoken word entertainment industry. I'll be honest, dude, I'm a nerd. I read the quest dialogue in this goddamn game, but I don't have the motivation to sit down and read a book anymore. So I took Audible as my chance and opportunity to get back into it. I, for one, recently got into the Witcher storylines after binging the entire Netflix show in a day. So I invested in the first 3 audiobooks. I felt like it was a pretty good guy move. They've got a ton of stuff. They've got news, business, podcasts, comedy, things on self-development, since we're all gamers with low self-esteem issues. You guys can visit audible.com/Jimmy or text Jimmy to 500-500. You'll get a credit on Audible to spend on whatever you want, and also access to 2 Audible originals if you sign up for a month trial with that code. Plus, this way you'll be able to impress that girl by making her think you read. You're welcome. Audible.com/J1MMY. Sign up for a free trial, you get that cool stuff. Let's get back to it. On May 31st, 2006, Jagex put out their most revolutionary idea yet. They wanted everyone to have a more immersive experience with their RuneScape character. You could now stroll down to one of many sketchball real estate agents around the game, pay them 1,000 GP, and have your very own house. There's lots of neighborhoods to set up your house. We've got Remington, Yanil, Hosidius, that's a new one, Taverley, Ollieville, Brimhaven, Relica, oh, and can't forget about Dead Content Elf City. But if we're being real here, we're gonna take that list and make it go away and narrow that down to 1. That's gonna leave us with our main hub, Remington, because no one has set their house at any of those other ones. You are a weird guy if you set your house anywhere else. Remington instantly became a hotspot. Everyone's, training construction, they're decorating their walls, hiring butlers, everyone's having a blast. But by everyone, I mean only the richest players in the entire fucking game. Just the 12 or 14-year-olds who could outsmart and scam the 10-year-olds playing. Those assholes were the ones who could afford to train construction at the time. Just for some insight on that, 99 construction in 2020 cost 250 mil. In 2006, 250 mil. If you were training construction back then, you're a sketchy motherfucker up to no good. I don't want to be friends with you. No one was training construction. I even found a forum post 2 years after construction was released from this dude asking, what's the point of training construction? I got to 42, what the hell is this? And a common reply was, it's just a flex, man. It's just like having a Santa hat or a party hat. You just, I don't know. When that one gnome quest, Gluffrey, I don't know his name, but it gave people the crystal saw, which let you build things 3 levels above your actual construction level, and people still were like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not touching that skill. Like I said, there was that handful of players who were training their construction levels, but when they got through training and they built their houses up, you want to know what they did? They weren't giving you your crazy experience rates. They weren't letting you in to teleport anywhere. Do me a favor. Open up the World Hop menu, go down to World 330, tell me what it says. House parties. Screw your XP. Those guys were throwing fucking ragers. These rich homeowners would pay a real player $100K an hour to sit outside the house portal and manually type an advertisement for their fucking banger of a party. Look at these old clips. Look at the advertisements. If you were advertising that you had a gilded altar in your house, you need a goddamn reality check because you have no idea what's going on. People wanted you to know about the combat rings, the super awesome dungeons that you could fight in, the social cruise. That was what grabbed people's attention. So you hopped in a house that's being advertised. One of two things happened. The most common one's just a mediocre setup, you know, half-finished rooms, nothing special. There's the house host, he's got his best friend in real life. Hey, welcome to my house. Something super fucking annoying. Or two, you loaded into that advertised house and you walked into the Project X of RuneScape parties. We've got girls who are just dancing around a dude in full elegant black cavalier. That was the outfit back then if you were, you know, a cool kid. That was your goal. So stupid. It's a stupid outfit. You got that line of players with their flared trousers doing that badass disco dance. You got two 8th graders telling the 5th graders to walk over the tiles in the throne room so they can fucking pull the lever and send them down. That was the best thing ever. It was the type of party, if your mom walked in, you're switching browsers as fast as you literally can. She does not need to know what's going on at that rager. This is what construction was. It's where people found their social skills, I'm pretty sure. It would be a sin for me to talk about the origins of construction and not mention the Falador Massacre. It was one of the craziest things to ever happen in an MMO. People that haven't even played RuneScape have heard of the Falador Massacre because of how fucked up it was. Just 1 week after the skill was released, that's 666, a player named Cursed You begged his parents to stay home from school and grind out with another friend on his account to be the first one to hit 99 construction. That's a true story. He actually has like a 30-minute vlog thing talking about being the first person to 99 construction. Go check that out. It's really cool. When he hit that 99 construction, you want to take a guess at what that guy did? He threw the fuck down, dude. Players were everywhere. So that being said, that was a problem for most because their computers could not handle that, let alone fucking record it. It's a miracle we have this. Cursed You's dial-up was overloading. His 128 megabytes of RAM was on fire. He kicked them all out. He was good. Everything was back to normal. While he sat there, twiddling his thumbs, waiting for people to get back in his house, he had no idea that right outside his front door, there was an absolute bloodbath. Duriel 321. In the midst of this mass kick, probably the first of its kind, this Duriel guy inherited some sort of glitch. The glitch let him run around the normal area of RuneScape and just attack and kill anyone he wanted. He had a green party hat on, full arums, a whip. He was just raining hell on anyone who looked like they had anything of value. You could see the panic. All the player moderators, bank your shit, get out of here, go. Pack your things, leave with your families. If I was Duriel, here's what I would have done. I would have been super stealth mode. Once I figured out I could kill one person, I would teleport immediately. I'd start teleporting around the world, finding people training Slayer, high alkers with a lot of money, a lot of Yulongs probably, and just start wiping people out. Just like a silent assassin killer. Yeah. I'm still trying to be a player moderator, by the way. But yeah, I have no idea how many people he actually got. Could be 7, could be 84. He got banned, it was over. Cursed You had gotten banned as well. Not because he initiated the glitch, but because Jagex found out he was a RW tier. Like I said, anyone who could train construction back then, they're a sketchy asshole. I'm gonna go ahead and label 2006 to 2008 the Noob Era. Nobody knew what was going on. No one cared to figure it out. There was not a lot of people trying to figure out the best way to maximize their efficiency. But somewhere in this Noob Era, people figured out gilded altars. With all the prayer training came a few more factors in the POH world. The first being incense burners. If you want the gilded altars to give you all the experience possible, both of the candles on both sides have to be lit. Hosts wanted no part in that. This was when socializing was still priority, so, you know, someone else do that. People would be on hourly wages doing jobs like this, and good God, people would be pissed at these guys. These poor dudes are grinding their asses off, trying to make 100K just lighting the same 2 candles over and over again. I've never seen an angry mob spring up faster than when these dudes just forget to light it for a second. I had learned every curse word and bad name you can call somebody in the span of like 10 seconds. We've also got a birth of a new neighborhood, I guess you could say. This might have been the first step to efficiency in the entire game. People started putting their houses and hosting it at Yanil. Yanil was the closest portal to a bank, and clearly it would make more sense to do your prayer training there. So Remington became the hub for social life and e-dating, and then Yanil was like the prayer training efficiency dudes. And that brought along another system of bone runners. There was just a lot of rich bastards trying to find the dumbasses to do their dirty work for them. No security in your payments. Most people were like, yeah, do it for an hour and I'll give you 100K. The 59-minute mark rolls around and the dude mysteriously disconnects. I was really sad. Noob Era was a rough time. January 2nd, 2008 to February 1st, 2011. For 3 years, 3 entire fucking years, Jagex took out free trade, took out the wilderness. No more giving your friends anything for fun, no more gifts. It was just a big scheme to stop people from buying and selling gold. And it was terrible. But relating it to the player-owned houses, there was no more ability to pay people to burn the candles for you, no more paying for bone runners. Most people have suppressed that in their memory for as long as they could. I'm sorry for those that I've, brought this time back for you. I apologize. I'm hurting just as much.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Silent Core.
If you wanted to train prayer efficiently, you most likely had to build your own gilded altar, because there was hosting at the time, but not nearly as much as there would have been if they got paid for it. The incentive to host your house was gone. You were just sacrificing your day away. It was just such a shitty time. Jagex, what the fuck, man? Another day, another day. There's a lot of things for other days, dude. February 1st, 2011, I remember the day very vividly. The free trade was back, the wilderness was back. Bone runners, back in action. My candles? I'm not burning them. You fucking do it. We're getting XP, we're making money, we're getting scanned, we're luring idiots. It was chaos, the best kind of goddamn chaos. So everything was good. Everything was right in the world, except not really. See, during that blurry period, sometime in 2009, Jagex had this fun and quirky idea to hit up Farouk in Al Kharid and say, hey, you can sell dice bags. No one bought dice bags because why would you buy a... Why? But the free trade's back. Now we can gamble. The return of the free trade in 2011 was the introduction to a gambler's paradise, baby. I'm not gonna go into specifics about gambling and dicing, but it started a trend in player-owned houses. You weren't getting a welcome, hey, what's going on? Good to see ya. You were getting a dicing ×2, legit, no scamming. I would never scam anybody. Welcome to my house, by the way. Give me your money. Prayer's expensive. You're down a little bit, hurting the bank a little bit. I got a solution for you. I'll roll a little dice. Maybe you can make some of the money back. Hosts were no longer hosting houses, they were hosting goddamn casinos. If you got sucked in, which a lot of people did, you just bought yourself a one-way ticket to getting fucked. Lucky for us and all of our morality, Jagex stepped in and saw this trend. Apparently they said, we put the dice in the game, they were never meant for gambling. What the fuck do you think dice are? What did you expect from that? They took all the dice bags out of the game. Player ran game of chance. We're done. Just kidding, idiots. Ever heard of flower games? That's right, flowers being planted by the hundreds of thousands every day. Hosts were right on top of this. No more dice, no problem. We've got a brand new garden in my house over here. It's just a strictly flower garden. You'll like it. Hot and cold ×2. Flower poker, legit. House rules, by the way. Frosty flowers get bent over for fun. It quite literally ruled the entire game. I had actually found myself in a position to be way too involved in that scene than I would have liked. But that's for another day. Evolution of combat. This was the biggest rework that has ever happened in the entire game. A bunch of debate and chaos happened. We ended up with a petition to start Oldschool Runescape, a 2007 backup server. And then in 2013, we got Oldschool Runescape. So forget everything I just told you. From 2007 to 2013, completely irrelevant. Scratch it, redo, try again. Now in 2013, we're back in Old School. Back in 2007, we were all still idiots. Efficiency was still not priority. Most players who joined Old School joined for that nostalgia factor. Reliving the childhood memories, letting it all flow back to them. Waking up at 5 a.m. before school school to go train on Alcarid guards with a granite maul. I was a fucking idiot, dude. Going to the Moss Giants, off task of course, specking them out with a dragon longsword, sound effects full volume to feel the impact. Oh, it all came back, it felt so good. But about a week of nostalgia and then you remembered, oh, I just got BioShock Infinite. I'm in the middle of the campaign. I gotta keep playing that because it's like way more fun. You're on GTA 5 planning full-fledged heists with the greatest trio of all time. You're doing other shit. We'd all played this game before a long time ago. The concept of adventure was no longer gonna keep us there. I'm gonna call this theory the theory of getting older so our motives to do shit are really boring. It's a working title. We're no longer motivated by adventure and exploration, but more towards achieving a goal and being successful at something. So naturally, when Old School did come out, the ones who did stick around, they took it as the opportunity to grind out a skill maybe they never had the time to or didn't have the dedication for. Whether you were getting 99 crafting or building a pure account that you'd always wanted, or, you know, getting a quest cape. The concept of getting an achievement was the reason Old School survived. So we officially entered the generation of Grindscape. The first construction update came about 9 months after the release of Old School. You were able to keep your doors open or closed or just toggle them however you wanted them to be when people entered. Then a year later, the first indication that player-owned houses were leaning towards this new generation. We got our boy, our man Files. He's a very respectable businessman. He's posted up a few feet away from the Remington house portal. This, ladies and gentlemen, was the death of bone runners. Prayer training just got a whole lot easier and a whole lot cooler. Forward to July 15th, we got F keys. We also got the ability to call our servant whenever we want them. Just some quality of life things. But then, 2016. If you're playing Old School in 2016, you're invested. You're in way too deep to pull out. So the Old School team took a step back and they looked at the player-owned house system and they said, if somebody's going to invest their time and money being a complete psychopath to train that up, we might as well make it worth it for them. The construction expansion. Boy, oh boy, did Jagex rework the shit out of houses. We got the house viewer, the most convenient thing to ever happen, rearranging rooms and setting them whatever direction you want. We've got the superior garden now. You want a fairy ring in your house? Build that shit. You want a spirit tree in your house? Build that shit. You want the spirit tree and the fairy ring to make sweet love to each other and have a baby? And that baby's like a spirit tree and a fairy ring together? Build that shit. You want a pool of drug liquid to heal you, whatever may be happening to your shitty body? Build that shit. We got the achievement gallery. Not only can you flex harder than you've ever flexed before in this room's a literal godsend. You can build an occult altar and switch your spell books whenever you please, however many times you want. No more running around for 10 minutes to go change your spell book. Just use it to your own disposal, you fucking king. Ornate jewelry box? Ever heard of it? All teleporting devices combined together into one thing with unlimited uses? Is that not the hottest and sexiest thing you've ever heard in your life? Are you sweating, you sick, disgusting animal? And then every host dream, they've got the tip jar. The actual training of construction still really sucked, but it was kind of worth it now since you could basically play the entire game within the confines of your home. All you ever needed was house teleports and you're good to go. You could do whatever you want. 2017, everyone's arthritis slowly gets delayed a little longer. You can use the numbers on your keyboard to select which piece of furniture you want to build. Everyone's just spamming 1 and 6 to train their construction now. It's a miracle. XP rates are higher than anyone ever imagined. It's beautiful. Everyone's coming. I mean, how could this get any better? There's no way it could possibly. Wrong. Fuck you, other me. Of course it can get better. Ever heard of a portal nexus? All spell teleports combined into one swinging ball of juicy greatness? Fucking house teleport. I never want to leave my house and all the XP. It's so fucking good. You filthy fucking POH. You but I love it. Give me more. Granted, RS3, they probably got their own quality of life things done to their house in the meantime. Quality of life as in cosmetic decor that you can buy for 500 rune coins, except the only package that gets you 500 rune coins is the package that you have to buy 800 rune coins for $21.99. Oh, I'll play that game. All these old school updates clearly changed the functionality of player-owned houses. They were a lot cooler. These updates not only gave players an incentive to build their own house up, it gave hosts the incentive to build the most efficient design. Hosting became a super competitive scene. You know that tip jar? That shit must have been bringing in a little too much dough because there was just an underground warfare between hosts trying to sabotage each other in the most fucked up ways to be the one and only true king of the house hosting. My buddy Colonello made a whole video going in depth about that whole underground warfare shit. Luckily, Jagex actually put in a pretty cool thing with the house board. People can just put up their house on there, let everyone know they're hosting, tells everything they have in there so you don't have to wonder. But after all this evolution we've discussed, people are still somehow unsatisfied. It's almost 14 years since Construction came out. Players got a nice little taste of that juicy crack of XP. They're addicted. They need help. I found this Reddit post. Here's how you can rework the construction system. Clearly he didn't get much support for it. Another guy was like, I mean, yeah, it needs a rework, but like, not like this. No, it doesn't. In the current state, player-owned houses have everything you would ever need. Except for friends. I still see people hanging out at hosted houses, but the social aspect is nothing what it used to be, which is completely understandable. It's very sad, but very understandable. Like I mentioned earlier, we all grew up. Our outlook on gaming in general has shifted from a playground to a workspace, which is essentially kind of what real life is, but it's fun to remember. House parties were definitely one of my favorite things as a kid. Things are different now, but hey, that's okay. So are a lot of other things. Like, what else is different? I know you know what's different. Fuck you. But without a doubt, construction is definitely one of the best things to ever happen to RuneScape. It's one of those skills that you can see how it's grown up with us. That skill has had one hell of a journey, and I'm glad that you guys were here to talk about it with me, but that's about all I have for today. I appreciate you guys coming along for this ride. This was very new for me. Next video I put out is gonna be by release. After that is gonna be my first full non-RuneScape video on the channel. I think it's one of the best projects I've ever made, but that's it. That's all I have. Go ahead and get out of here and throw a fucking house party. Go throw a house party. Let's get hammered. Let's bring the kegs. Go find beer in the game and let's drink like nerds and like we have a social life even though we don't. Come on, man. Let's get out of here. I'm leaving.